Welcome to 30 Parks in 30 Days. My name is Mike Redman alongside my brother Darren Redman. And tonight we're going to talk about a team that we do not like to talk about because they are our division rival, but a team that we can respect because they always beat up on the Mets every chance that they get. This is going to be a good team to watch in 2025. Are they playoff good? Are they not? We feel like the National League is a little bit more stacked this year, so it's not as much of a guarantee. To me, the Atlanta Braves are the equivalent of the 2024 or 2025 Houston Astros. Are they going to finally go down a peg? We shall see. With that said, though, Darren, myself, we are here, 30 Parks in 30 Days. We're on the Ballpark Podcast. We're going to talk Atlanta Braves baseball. But before we do, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsor and our good friends at Nashville Tax Solutions. Bam, right there. Nashville Tax Solutions. Darren, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little word about those guys.
Attention Palm Bay and Fort Pierce. Are you struggling with tax issues? Whether you're behind on filings, dealing with a lien, or just need expert guidance, Nashville Tax Solutions here to help. Their team knows the ins and outs of tax relief and is ready to fight for you. But don't just take my word for it. Don't take Mike's word for it. Listen to what some of the clients have conveyed to us. Chris Bennett and his team saved me from a financial nightmare. They're knowledgeable, they're clear, and they're compassionate. So don't let tax troubles keep you up at night. Call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions, because tax problems deserve real solutions.
Thank you, Darren and team. And I know that Christopher Bennett is a big Yankee fan, and so I'm sure he also respects the Atlanta Braves for consistency throughout the years. So this is a team that have had some big losses in terms of personnel this offseason. So I think that's where we want to start. This is a team, in terms of notable subtractions, they lost Max Fried, Fried Chicken, Jorge Soler, Travis d'Arnaud, Charlie Morton, AJ After Dinner Minter, Gio Urshela, Ramon Laureano, John Brebbia, and Luke Jackson. I don't know who those last two guys are. But that's a lot of names that I've heard of that are key impact players. Starting right there at the top with Max Fried. Big loss to go to the Yankees there. Soler got a lot of pop. d'Arnaud was a winner wherever he goes. And Charlie Morton, yes, he's towards the end of his career, but he's going to be a staple in that Orioles rotation. So, Darren, just looking at alone and knowing what you know about their roster, is this a team that is going to be similar to those Astros, or do you feel like they still have enough pieces because they're not really moving players around too much? Do you feel confident enough in the Braves this season with those subtractions?
Without jumping ahead to the way we end up usually, I think this is a team that takes a big step back.
Step back. And
they got 89 wins last year, and which is nice and will get you in the playoffs, but they didn't dominate, and I just, with all the subtractions, Max Fried he's hard to replace. I love that he's playing for the Yankees.
Yeah, he really is. Now, they did get back a familiar name in Craig Kimbrell, which is going to be a minor league deal. They added Brian De La Cruz from the Marlins, Jurickson Profar, and hot off the press just a couple hours ago, they signed Alex Verdugo to a one-year deal. So they tried. They made some moves there, but let's go ahead and look first at that projected lineup for the Braves this year. So we're looking at Jurickson Profar in the leadoff spot with Austin Riley, number 2. Matt Olson in the 3 spot. Behind him is Marcell Ozuna, who really has a new lease on life. This is a guy who went through some really, really bad times, and I didn't think he would put on another baseball uniform, but he found his way back and is performing at a high level. Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris II, Drake Baldwin, Jared Kelenic, and Orlando Arcia. A name I did not mention is Ronald Acuna, still battling injuries. I'm not quite sure 100% when he will come, probably about 6 to 8 weeks. He is away from getting back on the field, and that's not him in baseball-ready shape, so you're looking more towards midseason form. So, Darren, without that name, Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup, of course, he'll be there eventually, but still a lot of names. This is a team, though, don't forget, we're hating on them a little bit, but this is a team that locked up a lot of this talent for many, many years.
So smart.
Which is not common, and it was so smart because it feels like Michael Harris II is still a really young player, but he feels like he's been on this team for an eternity.
Oh yeah.
And now I know he's no Freddie Freeman, but talk about the most smooth transition. I know he had a bit of a down year last year, but Matt Olson for Freddie Freeman. I'm not saying that Freeman's not still a little bit above him, but that was a smooth transition. They really didn't miss a beat too much. I think that would be, a transition that most of us would like to have if we're going to lose a player of his caliber to gain. So anything that really stands out to you of that lineup, good or bad?
Well, I'm an Austin Riley guy. I think he's a very good player. And Acuna, again, very good player, but
yeah,
they have to gel, and they have to gel. Sean Murphy as the catcher. I mean, I don't know. I just, where's he going to hit the lineup? Where you look at that lineup now, they're solid players. Matt Olson, solid player, but I just think that look, if they were in the Central, they're most likely winning the division.
Yeah.
They just have two tough teams. If those two teams are not injury plagued, like the Phillies, well, I don't know what's going on with the Phillies. They hardly ever get hurt. They're going to take a step back.
They are. Yep, they really are. Let's jump into that rotation. Though Chris Sale, left-handed pitcher, Ronaldo Lopez, Spencer Squallenbach, Grant Holmes, and Ian Anderson. So still good, but they did lose those two pieces that we talked about, Max Fried being one of them. And so it's going to be tough to replace that, Darren. But do you feel, let me put you on the spot here, do you feel that this Atlanta Braves team compared to the other teams in that division, putting you on the spot now, do they get the X or can they slip in? Keep in mind, we've already gone on record. We've put the Mets in, we've put the Cubs in, we've put the Padres in, we've put the Diamondbacks in. So you still have a few spots remaining. I've given the Pirates one of the other spots, but are you giving the Atlanta Braves
They miss?
They miss, because I was going to say, because then you'd have two divisions of three teams. So the Braves are getting the X from you. Okay.
Yep.
So after much consideration, they are the closest team to making the playoffs but they are not getting in, which is crazy. I have the Brewers and the Braves not making the playoffs. I almost want to second guess myself, but I'm not. So I am going with the Braves just on the outside looking in. Look, Ronald Acuna Jr. is already a slow starter. He's a great ball player, but he's not going to get to play until early June, and he's going to still be in spring training form. So unless the Braves make a splash at the trade deadline, which usually doesn't happen, I feel like this is going to be a very good team, but they're not as strong as some of the teams above them. And so, hate to say it, and it doesn't happen often that the Braves don't make the playoffs, but this is going to be one of those years, in my opinion, that they just miss. And Darren, I want to comment. I'm not going to go into the exact words that were said, but we did a podcast recently, 30 Parks in 30 Days, for the Los Angeles Angels. And for whatever reason, that was the video. We got a lot of comments, a lot of people thinking that you picking the Angels was wonky and out of left field, and the Astros, how can you say they're not going to make the playoffs? Well, if you picked the Detroit Tigers to get as far as they did last season, and you're not full of crap, raise your hand. I mean, so how dare us, right?
Exactly.
Like, have an opinion and think the Angels could actually be a better team. So we're not going to get it all right, but it's not going to be exactly the same as 2024.
No,
we play baseball for a reason.
It's not. And we look at these things, we take some time. We don't just go off the cuff. Wonky? Okay, maybe. But you know what? Why not? Why not?
Why not?
Because look, if Trout does a good job in right field and stays healthy, usually they fade because Trout will get hurt the last couple of years. And no one's talking about the Braves, but you brought up the Angels, and I'm actually more convinced than I was even then that they will make the playoffs. And they'll get eliminated right away, but they will make the playoffs.
Yeah. And, again, it's not going to surprise me the Braves sneak in, of course, but I just feel like some other teams got a little bit better. I think the pitching in Pittsburgh, that would be the one team if I had to replace them with flip-flopping with Pittsburgh, but I'm going to stick with Pittsburgh. I know, Darren, you didn't pick Pittsburgh going in, but that's my surprise team. but we shall see. But the Braves, though, 2025 is going to be a great season for them, but they're going to fall just short behind the Mets and another team in the East that we haven't covered yet. But until next time, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of 30 Parks in 30 Days. Still got just a few more episodes coming up as we take you all the way till opening day 2025. Until next time, we'll see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.